Hi, my name is Rony. I'm from Minas Gerais, and I decided to make this video to share a bit about my experience studying English. I started studying English about 2 years ago, more or less. I began in a traditional course like most people do, right? So, after 6 months studying in this course, I found out that it would take me 5 years to learn to speak English. And that left me a little frustrated because I didn't have time or money for that. Because traditional English courses in Brazil are very expensive. Everybody knows that. Even so, I continued for another 6 months. But what bothered me the most was discovering that I would only practice speaking at the end of the course, meaning after 4 years. And this made me think about several things like if this was normal, if it was right or wrong, because intuitively everybody knows that the first thing you learn as a child is listen and understand. Then comes speaking, and after that, writing and reading. That's natural, normal, okay? But traditional courses here in Brazil do the opposite, and that captured my attention because I'm a curious guy. I've always been very curious. Then I started researching about teaching English in Brazil, and I discovered something that left me confused because I found out that Brazil is one of the countries with largest number of English language franchises in the world. One of the countries with largest number of English schools and courses on the planet. And to my surprise, I also found out that Brazil is a country where less than 1% of the population is fluent in English. And discovering this was a kind of shock to me because it didn't make any sense. It really didn't make any sense to me. Think about it. If Brazil is one of the places with largest number of English schools and courses in the world, Brazil should be one of the countries where English is spoken the most. But that's not the case here. That's when it clicked for me. I had a kind of insight about that. I realized the problem lies in the methodology of traditional courses. I realized that the way English is taught in Brazil is in traditional courses in Brazil is wrong. And so I started looking for people on internet who knew about this or at least thought like me. That's when I met Ruben Freitas and his Method Impact English program through a video on internet. And he was saying exactly what I had just discovered. And I knew he was telling the truth because he was talking about his experience and frustrations in the past with traditional methods. So I decided to get in touch with him and schedule a trial class for him to explain his teaching method better. And that's how I became his student. And I've been training with him for a year. And after 1 year training with him, what I can say is that his method really works because his method is completely focused on listening and not on writing or grammar rules. It's a method designed to achieve fluency very quickly. It starts speaking naturally without even realizing it. Speaking starts happening naturally as it should be, right? And thanks thanks to his method, I'm already starting to communicate with native English speakers around the world. And that's incredible because the ultimate goals of anyone who wants to speak English or any other language is to be able to communicate with native speakers, to create connection with these people, to understand what they are saying, and for them to understand what you are saying. That's the main aim, at least for me, right? And I, I don't think I have enough words to thank teacher Ruben because he's helping me a lot to achieve a dream. It's 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 amazing. It's only been possible because of him, and not to mention, he's a great person. I see him more as a friend than a teacher. He always made me feel very comfortable during the classes, and at the same time, he always gave me a lot of confidence and security. What I have to say is that I trusted his method 100%, and I don't regret it. I don't regret it for a second, you know? Yes, that's it. That was a summary of my story with English. And to finish, thank you very much, Ruben, for everything you have done for me. I'm gonna be forever grateful for that. Be sure about this, right? And yeah, that's it. Thanks again, and see you in the next class. Bye for now.